Four people, four have come. Sudarshini messaged me. Okay. Is the screen visible for everyone? Someone can unmute and
Yes.
tell. Yeah. Okay.
Yes,
So
yes.
we are
Yes, doctor.
we have successfully completed one day and we are in the second day. And today we will write a look about pen. That is the part 2. Yesterday we thought about planning. Today we will discuss something about pen or writing the book. So essentially, pen involves 5 stages. One is writing, second is proofreading, third is copy editing, fourth is editing, and fifth is a pre-publishing review. Now, each of these stages are distinct, and I will explain to you how they are distinct and how we can, once we know the differences, we can use those to our advantage. That is the very basic what is the basic aim of trying to make it into various distinct stages in making a book. Before going to this, let us see how some famous people start writing the books. For example, we have here John Grisham. John Grisham, I think you all may have known, one of the contemporary leading writers of English fiction. Okay, so if you consider Sidney Shelton, Harold Robbins, or Jeffrey Archer as the previous generation, or Frederick Fawcett as previous generation, John Grisham is still writing. So how he writes is, he starts a new novel on January 1st and usually done with the bulk of the writing by end of March. So then he completely finishes the manuscript by July, and then he enjoys for the next 5 months. And he has a very strict rituals for his writing. He starts work on a novel on the same day each year, that is January 1st, and starts writing each day at the same time. He works at the same computer, drinks the same type of coffee and the same cup, and office routine rarely varies. And he writes in a period outbuilding, that is, he doesn't write in his home. There is a separate building on his property, and they maintain its period details, and there is no phone, no fax, no internet. I don't want the distraction. I don't work online. I keep it offline. That is what Grisham says. And he works 5 days a week, starting from 7 a.m. and ending by 10 a.m. And when Kannadasan was asked to write Yesu Kaviyam, what he did was he went to Kutralam, stayed there for a few days, and completed and came. And even now we see our movie directors and all, they book some resorts or hotels for their screenplay discussion. Essentially, why they all do this is, okay, we'll discuss this later. We will discuss this, why they are all doing like this later. Now we will come to the next steps. That is, in write we have 5 steps. One is, that is in pen we have 5 steps. One is write, second is proofreading, then copy editing, then editing, and then finally peer review or pre-publishing review. We will skip the write part for the now. We will come to the next part, which is proofreading. So what essentially is proofreading? Yeah, you can discuss. It's just a workshop. So you please give your opinion. What do you think is proofreading?
Grammar, punctuations.
Others also. Censor, நீங்க editor. இதெல்லாம் செல்லாது. Okay, proofreading. Okay, proofreading essentially is checking the word. That's all. You check the spelling. You check whether the word is same as in the manuscript, what the author written versus what is typed. And to do proofreading, there is no need for grammar knowledge or subject knowledge. Anyone with some sincerity and concentration can do proofreading. You don't even want to know the grammar. There is no subject knowledge. It's a very, very easy thing. And it is the very, when you are outsourcing the proofreading, it is the cheapest part. People, when you give for proofreading, they charge very less only. And suppose if you have typed the manuscript yourself, usually proofreading is not needed because you will type the spelling correctly. But there is a caveat. Suppose if it was typed to our voice, then proofreading is needed. And as far as English is concerned, most of the spell checkers, for example, in MS Word, spell checkers itself does the proofreading. And online tools are also available for Tamil. You can use it. And this can be done free of cost, or if you want, you can do it paid. So here comes, we have completed one step, which is proofreading, which is the most cheapest work if you are going to outsource it. Next comes something called as copy editing. Here what we do is, here we check the sentence and check the grammar and check the punctuation. So to do a proper copy editing, there is you need more knowledge than proofreading, and but grammar knowledge alone is needed. The person who is doing copy editing need not be an author or a writer, and there is no need for subject knowledge. So any grammar teacher or anyone with good command of grammar can do proofreading, copy editing. So copy editing, if when you are outsourcing, is a bit costlier than the proofreading, but it is still cheaper than editing. And you need not even outsource it because when we are using the editor feature in MS Word, editor feature is in the latest versions of MS Word, or there is one site called as Grammarly. If you use this, they do very beautiful copy editing. And one thing I want to tell is, don't use ChatGPT for copy editing, because Grammarly or MS Word will not change the meaning when they are copy editing, or they won't introduce new concepts. ChatGPT will hallucinate and itself will add few paras. So don't use ChatGPT for copy editing. Use either Grammarly or MS Word. And for Tamil, you can ask any retired school Tamil teacher to check for your whether it is you have put the correct na, whether the otruplay, sandhiplay are there, you can check. And one thing which I want to emphasize in this workshop is, don't make the editor do the copy editing. Suppose you have got someone to edit your book, copy edit it and then give to the editor. Because when you are giving the editor a book full of grammar mistakes, first and foremost, they will lose interest in the editing. They will start the copy editing process, and the mind will come to copy editing, and they will lose the interest in editing. Second is, editors are usually paid a very high premium cost. Proofreading and copy editing are relatively cheaper. Editors are paid a premium cost. So if you make your editor do the copy editing, you will spend more and you will get a very poor output. So give the book to the editor after copy editing. And now you have copy edited the book. Next comes the stage of general editing. Here the editor checks the chapters, checks the entire chapter, checks for conciseness, checks for clarity. And editing is done by someone with command of language, and he has to have the skills needed by an author or editor. And again, editors need not be subject experts. They just need to have a broad idea. They need not be experts in the subject. And the cost of editing is usually 5 to 10 times the cost of copy editing. So many people, the problem here is they write the book and then they give to the editor, and the editor spends a lots of time in correcting grammar mistakes, leaving the core function. This is general editing. Then there are some special editing also. Level 1, what we call it as uniform style in nomenclature. For example, if you are writing Tiruchirappalli as Tiruchi, then you have to write Tirunelveli as Nellai. Writing using short form for one place and long form from other place won't be nice. Same way, suppose if you are writing, say in Tamil, if you are writing Purachi Talaivar, then write Kalaignar. If you are writing MGR, then write Karunanidhi. Like that. So there should be a uniform style in nomenclature, and there should be a uniform style for citations and references. This is level 2. Level 3 editing, they check the diagrams and charts, make sure that the labeling is correct and the format is uniform. Level 4 is checking for all references, and level 5 is checking for factual errors. So unless this level 4 and level 5 are usually needed when you are writing for a technical audience. For common audience, I think 1 to 3 is enough. And there is something else which is called editing while writing. So big publications like say Penguin or HarperCollins and all, when they put a contract, they assign an editor or sub-editors, and they work with the author. That is, after every chapter it is corrected, and it is so on. It is even more costly process. And one thing is, don't if you are having an continuous editing, don't make the editor just to remind you to write. Because again, you will be wasting money. What I say is, when you have got a continuous editing, you should write and make the editor work more. It is not like that he has to remind you, send the chapter. Then actually we are wasting money. Now comes the final stage. What is pre-publishing review? This is somewhat similar to peer review. In journals, we call it as peer review. In books, we call it as pre-publishing review. It is by a subject matter expert equal to or superior to the author. And there is no need for spelling and grammar check. And this person need not be even an author or editor. And the comments given by the pre-publishing reviewer can be used in the accolade section of the book. And it is usually done free of cost. Again, one warning, don't send an unedited version for pre-publishing review. The person will be really put off. So now we'll come back to writing. What is the difference between John Grisham, Kannadasan, or some those people and today is they predominantly wrote on paper. Okay, John Grisham now is writing on computer, that is different. And so when you write on paper, there is a less chance for revision. But when you are writing in a computer or a mobile or a laptop, you can revise as many times digitally. And those writers, that is earlier, they were expected to write, proofread, and copy edit. If you are sending a short story to Anandavedan or Kumudam, if there are grammar errors, it will be immediately rejected. No one will even read further. But today, and those days, it was very difficult to find proofreaders and copy editors because mostly only publishing houses had them. But today, with the advent of online internet, there are lots of sites where you can hire proofreaders and copy editors and pay them for their job. This is the first difference, and I want you to understand this difference and use this difference to your advantage in writing your book. And again, today, those days you have to write only in paper. Today you can write it in digital, you can write it in your mobile. In your mobile you can type or you can voice type or you can speak and send to someone and they can type and send back to you. You can use your iPad, you can use your laptop, you can use your desktop. And now coming to the stages of writing, you can take points today, write tomorrow, rewrite later. Again, when the mobile is a very convenient point. You have to, once you start to writing, you have to use your mobile to the full potential. you can jot down your points anytime with the mobile. For example, even when you are say you are traveling in a traveling or you are standing for lift, you can write 1 or 2 points which come to you in the mobile, which is not at all possible to carry a notepad and pen and jot down. Okay, which software do you want to use? MS Word is the best. And those of you are using Mac, you can use the Write. Notepad is another software which is even good. But the problem is after once you write in Notepad, you have to remember to save it properly. Then, or you can use Google Keep. Google Keep easily syncs between laptop and desktop. Or you can use your mobile or Telegram, send it to the other number. Now with WhatsApp, you can send it to your own number itself. Or you write it in a mail and send it to your other mail. There are so many options to write. Only that you have to use it. Another question is, now when we earlier saw the examples of John Grisham and Kannadasan, do we really need isolation? The answer is yes and no. Yes is for few parts, no for most parts. That is, there are only few parts in the book where you need to be fully concentrating on the book. For most other parts, you can do it when in the middle of your other jobs. So which areas of writing needs your full concentration? First, full concentration is needed when you are editing, not when you are writing, okay? You can write whatever you like, but when you are editing, you have to be very careful. Many people usually do the opposite side. They write very carefully, but they edit very relaxedly and they miss the key points. So you need concentration while editing, not you can write everywhere, but when you are editing, you should not be distracted. And when you are formulating the chapters and topics, at that time you should be fully concentrating on the work. And when you are writing the initial and final chapters, you should be fully concentrating on the work. And other works can be done in your spare time. So why you want to concentrate on initial and final chapters? Can anyone try to give the answer?
Almost like a prologue and epilogue.
Okay, yes sir, correct. So the point is, only if the initial chapter is interesting, the person will complete the book. If the initial 1 or 2 chapters is not proper, the chance of the person reading further chapters is very less. So if you want someone to read your book completely, the initial chapters should be very, very good. Of course, if the entire book should be good, that is a different matter. But if the initial chapters are bad, whatever good you have done inside won't be read. Most people will just keep the book and go away. Because today, there are lots and lots of distractions for everyone, okay? You are reading a book, a phone call will come, or some other calls will come. That time, after doing that, if someone has to come back to your book, then you should have something, you should show the value in the initial chapters. That is why initial chapters are important. And why the final chapters are important is, if the final chapters are good only, the person will read your next book. Okay. So initial chapter is to make someone read the current book, and final chapters are to make someone read your next book. So these two are very, very important. So while writing these chapters, you have to be fully concentrating and not doing some other job and jotting down here. And advantages today we have already discussed. You can jot the points in your mobile. You can write it in mobile. You can voice type. You can send a voice message and type later, or you pay someone to type. You can ask someone to edit and collate. And you can write in any order, write any number of paras. And remember something, the best is the enemy of good. What it means is, if you are waiting for the best, you will miss the good. So there is no point in waiting. You start today itself. Whatever book you want to write, you start today. Write at least a para. Full book will eventually come. And a few practical tips is always save the manuscript with the date. So that if you want somewhere, sometimes you want to go back and check what it was earlier, you can easily find it. And you have a separate folder for archives and images. So again, it is easy to find. And another point is, okay, yesterday you are the book, today you are opening the file. As soon as you are opening the file, you save it with a new file name. What many people do is they open the file, they don't save it with the new file name. Instead, they type it something, and at the end, they save with the new file name. Suppose there is some breakage, you will lose your text and you lose your interest. So when you open the file itself, you save it with the name and then you start writing. And when you are working in laptop or desktop, you keep saving the file every few minutes. The common command is Control S. So you learn to click Control S after each para. And if you can, you are pretty serious about your work, I would suggest you use the cloud and keep the file in clouds, especially if you are using multiple computers, one in home and one in office. Then I would suggest you go for Dropbox or iCloud. Dropbox is better for Android and Windows, and iCloud is better for iOS and Mac. And one more thing is, once you have started writing on the second 2 chapters, have a progress chart. The progress chart can be either in digital or in paper, and you keep ticking as you complete the chapters, and this will give a very high motivation. I will share with you my progress chart I used for one of my MCQs books. So it will be like this to start with. Okay, this is the All India 2008 book. There are 300 questions. So as and when I start completed, I will just fill in the numbers. This will move. So here it is, okay, 1% completed. So how many hours more? 49 hours, 20 minutes more. So here it is 74% completed, 13 hours more. 91% completed, that is 272 questions completed, 28 questions remaining, 4 hours, 40 minutes more. And at last 100% completed, it is over. So I use this, okay, as this circle comes, it gives a boost. You can use anything you like. And now coming back to the stages of pen, to proofread, you can use, proofreading is checking the word. You can use MS Word, Grammarly, or a person with grammar knowledge. Copy editing is checking the sentence, and you can use Grammarly or a person with grammar knowledge. Editing is checking the chapter. For this use, you need a person with language and editing skills. Pre-publishing review is checking the book. For which you need a subject matter expert. And these are the stages of pen. And the most key point is you decide what all you need. You get free assistance for the steps. And then point is don't pay more for paid assistance. If you want proofreading, give it to a proofreader. If you want editing, give it to an editor. And don't exploit the free assistance. If suppose someone offers to just another expert offers to see the book and give comments, don't make him correct grammar mistakes. And homework for today will be, whatever book you are planning, you write the outline, you plan. And you write one chapter. Okay. So what are the book you are planning, sir? One by one we can discuss. What book you want to write? Already started or not? Sir, unmute பண்ணிக்கோங்க. All of you can unmute, we can discuss. சார் லோகநாதன் சார், நீங்க மியூட்ல தான் இருக்கீங்க. இல்லையா? சரி, ஓகே.
Steps for a MCQ book, sir.
Steps. MCQ books? Yes, sir. I didn't get the question.
Is the MCQ book different from the other books?
Yes, sir. MCQ book each question is a separate thing, sir. In MCQ books, you have to complete one question. So the unit will be that question. For example, I will show you this. So this is All India PG. We had 300 questions. So if you see anatomy 19 questions, anesthesia 3 questions, biochemistry 13, community basis. So totally 300 questions. So each question is one unit. You know, when you are writing a book, the chapter counts. Here, we anyhow for that question, you have to find the answer, you have to give the reference, you have to write the relevant details. So I follow it like this. In other books also, I follow a similar chart only. There it will be packed subdivisions and all. No, there is no hard and fast rule for this. Since I followed it, I just shared the screenshot that I am using something like this. So this will give us an idea where we are, how to do.
Yes, sir.
Okay, any other questions? So you are ready for the homework?
Yes, sir. Sir?
You are ready for the homework and get it?
Yes, yes.
Sorry, okay. So, remaining meeting time is 9 minutes. Okay, we'll finish it. So, how to make a skeleton for your book? I will share a few topics. Okay, these are the books I am right now writing. I am just sharing it for you. You can take this as an inspiration and to create the chapter list for the book you are planning to write. Of course, that won't be the final, but only if you have a background idea, you will know where to modify. So, for example, this is one book about poor academic performance in school children, where the chapter 3 will be causes of low marks. Then next chapter is poor scholastic performance due to problems in vision. Then problems in hearing. Then problems, neurological conditions. Then sleep disorders. Then delayed milestones. Then development problems of language. Then specific delays of academic skills. Inattentive overactive child. Emotional and conduct disorders. Then finally, role of government and civil society, incorporation of diagnostic and screening tools. Basically, I wanted to write this book because lots of people with trouble in children with trouble in vision, trouble in hearing, or with neurological conditions like absence seizures, they also perform poorly in schools. But today, somehow it has been led to believe that only autism is a cause for problem in schools and not visual disturbances or hearing disturbance. So I thought, okay, I should come up with a book. So these are the chapters I have planned. There. Now, maybe suppose when I write, suppose if the 9th chapter becomes very large, we have to make it into 2 chapters. But this is the general outline. Or another book I am planning about COVID and heart attack. Okay, these are the side headings I have planned. What is health? What is disease? What is infectious disease? What is non-communicable disease? What are the tenets of infectious disease? Communicability, infectivity, pathogenicity, virulence, inverse relationship. Then Walde's ring, immunity problem, COVID spectrum, complications, peculiarity, blood clot, other points relating to blood clot, why fat deposited in blood vessels, how body reacts to clot formation, how COVID causes heart attack, how to prevent, WHO recommendations, Korean models, what decisions in past 2 years, how to approach COVID, recommendations for individuals regarding problems, recommendations for government, society, something like this. No, none of this is finalized. This is just what I have noted down. So what you have to, so whatever book you are planning, you just try to note down the topics in the order, topics, subtopics, sections and all, and you can share in the group. Let us see how it goes. Is it okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So today's homework is write the outline for the book you are planning to write. That is homework 1. Then write 1 chapter. You just write. Then we will see the copy editing parts later. So all of you can please come with the outline, and also if possible write 1 chapter. If not 1 chapter, at least 1 page. If you have already started writing, you can write chapter. There need not be grammarly correct. You can just note the points. Then based on that, we will see, and we will discuss it tomorrow. Same way tomorrow we will move to the next session. That present and all will be relatively new for you, so there won't be much homework there. But this part, I think if you start writing now, by the end of workshop you will have 2 chapters ready. Okay. Any other doubts
Yes,
in
sir.
what we have discussed today?
No, sir. Very clear.
Sudarshini,
Yes, sir.
Aravind sir, Anand sir, Surya sir.
இல்லைங்க சார், நோ டவுட்ல இல்லைங்க சார்.
ஓகே சரி, அப்ப அவுட்லைனோட வந்து அவுட்லைன் அனுப்பிடுவீங்களா சார் காலையில குரூப்ல டெலிகிராம்ல?
சார் புக் எழுதுற மாதிரி ஐடியா இல்ல சார், அதுக்கு இதுக்காக ஏதாவது பிளான் பண்ணி எழுதுறேன் சார்.
இல்ல சார், நான் என்ன சொல்றேன்னா, நீங்க இந்த புக் சப்போஸ் யூ டேக் எனி டாபிக், ஓகே, வாட் எவர் டாபிக் யூ லைக், அதை வந்து ஒரு 10 சாப்டரா போட்டு பழகுங்க ஃபர்ஸ்ட். தட் கேன் பி எனி டாபிக். நம்ம வந்து பெருசா வந்து எடுப்புலயே புலிட்சர் சாகித்ய அகாடமி எல்லாம் வாங்கணும்னு அவசியம் இல்லை. வாட் எவர் டாபிக்க அதை வந்து ஒரு 10 டாபிக்கா 8 சாப்டர் 10 சாப்டரோ 15 சாப்டராவோ அந்த பிரிச்சு ஒண்ணு போட்டு பாருங்க. If you do that itself is half the work done, sir. மீதி எல்லாம் நம்ம கடை ஒரு நாளைக்கு 2 பக்கம் 1 பக்கம்னு எழுதிட்டு போனாலே 1 மாசத்துல முடிஞ்சிடும்.
ஓகேங்க சார்.
Right. So if there are no doubts, I think இன்னைக்கு we can close the day with the letter, and we'll discuss the homework tomorrow. Homework we can discuss in the group itself, not in the class. Class will start with the day 3. Homeworks, if you share, we will discuss in the group.
I will try, sir.
Actually, இப்போ வந்து fiction இந்த மாதிரி workshopல எல்லாம் they will give the topic. But நான் வந்து I am not forcing any topic on you. What now? If you will have some topic in the mind, if you can bring it up, it will be easy and it will be usually fruitful. அதனால தான் I am not giving any topic. Usually in all workshops they will give some topic. Now I am not giving a topic. I want you to choose a topic which will be, நீங்க எழுத போற புக்கே நீங்க வந்து இப்ப ஆரம்பிச்சீங்கன்னா it will be useful. அப்படிங்கிறதுனால தான் நான் டாபிக் கொடுக்கல. நீங்க கொண்டு நம்ம வந்து பண்ணேன்னா we'll discuss and that will to be அது வந்து நம்ம ஒர்க்கை வந்து கிக் ஸ்டார்ட் பண்ண மாதிரி இருக்கும்.
சார் ஆக்சுவலா 2 classes தியரி கிளாஸ் இருக்குங்க சார், அதுக்கே நான் ப்ரிப்பேர் பண்ணிக்கிட்டு.
எது சார்?
நாளைக்கு 2 கிளாஸ் இருக்கு சார் ஸ்டூடெண்ட்ஸ்க்கு.
ஓகே.
சோ அதுக்கு ப்ரிப்பேர் பண்றதுக்கே நைட் 2 மணி ஆயிடும்.
இல்ல சார், நீங்க என்ன பண்ணுங்க, நாளைக்கு கிளாஸ் எல்லாம் முடிங்க சார். நாளைக்கு நைட்டு 9 மணிக்கு உட்கார்ந்து இது சாப்டர் போடுங்களேன், போதுமே. இல்ல நம்ம ரொம்ப யோசித்து போட வேண்டாம். நான் என்ன சொல்றேன், வாட் எவர் பி யுவர் டாபிக், இதுதான் டுடே we have got the digital sir, you can revise re-revise any number of time. நம்ம வந்து பெஸ்டா தான் போடணும்லாம் இல்ல, நம்ம எழுத ஆரம்பிச்சாலே it will go through multiple iterations, then we will finalize. பட் உங்க டாபிக்க சொல்லுங்க, எழுதுவோம். இல்ல நீங்க உங்க டாபிக்க சொல்லுங்க, நான் வந்து ஒரு 3 பாயிண்ட் போட்டு கொடுக்குறேன், அதுல இருந்து நீங்க எடுத்துட்டு நீங்க கண்டினியூ பண்ணுங்க.
ஓகே சார்.
ஓகே
ஓகே சார்.
Okay, so if there are no doubts, we can close it. Thank you all for spending 1 hour with me. We will meet tomorrow.
Okay sir, thank you sir.
Thank you.
Right sir, thank you sir, good night sir.
Thank you sir, thank you.
Thank you Bruno, thank you Bruno.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.